This podcast contains strong language and adult themes from the outset. Angie!
Patois!
How you doing?
Whiz back with another record.
Wow,
just made that
that
up,
is...
just right there and then off the cuff.
Wow, your jingle vibes
Yeah,
are...
I know. I've missed my calling, Paz, to be honest.
You have, to be
I have,
honest.
yeah, I could actually just, I could just bring out jingles every bloody day.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, you've just proved that.
Yeah.
In one fell swoop.
Just like that. Bang. Thanks, Angie.
Anyway, happy New Year!
Happy bloody New Year 2023.
2023, let's go. Let's go.
I wonder what this year holds, Pat.
Oh, I hate thinking like that.
I know you do.
I hate it. I absolutely fucking hate
Why
it.
do
I've
you-
just told myself this year and last year I've just said, I mean, I went to bed at 11 on New Year's Eve. I was like,
Yeah,
done
I
in.
mean, you've had the rough shits, haven't you,
oh
mate?
God, well, I haven't had
You've
the
had the rough
shits.
shits. You've
Let's
had the
not
rough
tell
shits.
people I've had the shits.
You've had a bit of shits, though. You did have a bit of shits.
I've not had any shits.
I thought you had some shits.
No. Well, I've had bloody everything, so
Well, exactly. There you go, then. Let's just chuck some shits in there as well.
let's just throw some shits in there.
Yeah.
I've had the shits, guys, all right?
Shits.
I've shat myself more times over this festive season than I can remember. Yeah, but I've just told myself, it's just a new month. It doesn't matter.
Well, it
It's
is
just
really,
like,
isn't it?
It's just like going from the end of January into February. You don't get
Yeah.
anxious about that. You don't get het up about that. You
No.
don't think, oh God, it's a new month. What's going
Why
to happen
do
this
you-
month?
Why do you get all sort of what, like, do you think you go into it going, like, are you thinking, oh gosh, what if something bad happens this year? What if, like, is that
Yeah,
what?
it is that. It's that.
So it's that sort of feeling.
Do you know what I also think?
What?
I'm like, every year, I'm like, this is going to sound a bit morbid, but I'm just being totally honest.
Yeah.
What if that was my last Christmas with mum or dad?
Oh, Pats, you got to not think like that, mate.
I know, but I can't help it because they're getting older, and I'm really aware that at almost 41, I'm so lucky to still have both my mum and dad here. I've got so many friends that don't have that at this age and younger. I'm so lucky that at the start of every year, I'm like, what if that was the last Christmas where all of us are together?
I know, but you just,
I know, Angie. So the last couple of years, I've tried to say to myself, it's just December turning to January, Pats.
Yeah,
It's just a change of a month.
Yeah, it is.
Anything could happen in 30 days, but you don't get anxious when January becomes February or February
no.
becomes March.
In fact, if anything, you become relieved.
Oh, I'm like, oh God, January's
Thank
done.
God
Thank
that's
God
done.
for that. Yeah.
You know, that shit month is done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I do get a bit like, I
Yeah,
wonder
you
what
do.
people. And so what I'm trying to say is, it's a brand new year. It could be really good things that happen. This could be a brilliant year for me.
Yeah.
Why am I thinking, what if something awful happens?
Why are you always thinking on the negs?
Why am I not thinking on the regs?
On the regs. Do you know what though? We say this every time, right? But by the time we get to the end of a series, we're ready for a break. We're ready for. I just need to have a few weeks.
Yeah. Couple of weeks
where I don't have to think about it. I can switch off. By the time we get to now, I'm like,
get me back.
I just miss this.
Well, do you know what it is for me? If I'm going to really lay this down here,
You're
guys.
really
I'm gonna
coming
be
with
really
it,
honest.
aren't you? You're really
I'm really
coming
going
with
to
the
lay it down.
honesty. Yes.
I love the creative outlet this gives me in my life.
Yes, I agree.
Because my job is not, I'm not going to go into what I do, but my job is not particularly creative.
No,
and there is a very
mine
creative
neither.
side to myself. And I feel like this is
where you can put that.
Yeah, or I can
Yeah.
put my, I can try and be funny. I say try because, often lands flat.
You can it's where you can get your creative juices.
It's the creative juices.
It's the
I've got a lot of
juices.
other juices flowing in my life.
And this is the creative part.
This is
and
the creative
we
part.
can get juicy, we can get loosey, we can get goosey. together.
Right, I saw something funny on Instagram.
Yes.
I heard a girl on the bus in Clapham called the cost of living crisis, the Cosy Lives. Right? Somebody underneath has put, I hate the way us Brits abbreviate terms. Why did I see someone call a mental breakdown a menti B? Cosy Lives. Somebody's going around going, oh, it's the old Cosy Lives.
I know. I saw it on the here we go. I actually saw it on the Depop drama.
Yeah, Depop drama. That was funny, that post.
Where it says, I can't go that low, sorry, babe. Especially with the Cosy Lives and all that jazz. And then the response is, Cosy Lives, ? Slang for cost of living crisis.
That is so good, isn't it?
So we could have a Cosy Lives and a menti B. I love that we come up with the old slang, the old abbreviations.
Do you?
I do, like Platty-Jubes. Loved that.
Platty-Jubes. One of the other Depop dramas that I saw, there's no response to this, but somebody's obviously messaged on Depop drama and just put, hey, really random, but can you deliver this to the airport? I have a flight at 11 tomorrow, but I really want this.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Sure,
yeah.
I'll just get Every or
DPD.
I was about to call it DFS then.
I'll just get DFS to drop the sofa to you at the airport.
to try and get it in your hand luggage. Greetings.
Happy New Year!
Oh, Happy New Year.
Rossi, how was your festive season? I mean, I would ask Ange, but I was with her the whole time, so I sort of know.
You were, weren't you?
So, Rossi, how was yours?
I had probably one of the quietest Christmases I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that out of choice, Rossi? Was that choice?
Well, my side of the family, my daddy, he's having his house redone, so we couldn't go there. And we stayed at home and had my wife's dad here. So it was just, 4 of us really with little Woody. And it's great to have a 2-year-old though at Christmas because they're just starting to. We put the carrot out. We put the little mince pie out. We put the milk out. And he couldn't give a shit about it really. He just didn't care. So.
I think we've become more okay with quietness.
Oh, COVID.
Since COVID.
Since COVID.
Yeah. I think we have.
Since the Vida's done the rounds.
Yeah.
Anyway, Rossi, we want to know, first one back, 2023. Tell us, early New Year vibes, what have you been heavily into?
Heavily into with Rossi D. Woods. Heavily into with Rossi D. Woods. What is he heavily into? Heavily into this week? Bosh.
Right, so I have been heavily into a Netflix series, and the name is Wednesday.
Right, yeah.
Yes, so, I've heard a lot about this.
Yeah, so I didn't know if I wanted to watch it. I grew up like watching Addams Family and the different ones. Anyway, I thought, I'm going to pop it on. And I said to Lucy, do you want to watch it? I'm not watching that shit. Anyway,
so we popped.
Because Wednesday, it's a kids thing. Anyway, oh my God.
Is it good?
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's absolutely brilliant. Also, the girl who plays Wednesday, oh fuck, I've forgotten her name.
Isn't it Jenna something or other? Jenna.
Oh, it's Jenna Ortega.
Jenna,
Ortega.
Jenna Ortega. I think that's how
Jenna
it's
Ortega. Anyway, so she portrays Wednesday so well. It's unbelievable. Anyway, what a great casting. So she plays Wednesday. And as I was watching it, I grew more fond of her and I thought, this feels really bad. I might have to Google how old she is.
Right.
She's old, isn't she?
I think I've got feelings for her.
Right,
And if
you were catching feelings.
I was catching feelings and I thought, this is bad. I'm going to Google it. She's 20.
Fine.
She is 20, so I'm fine with that.
Fine.
Yeah, she is. Because I haven't watched it, but both my son and my husband have. So I've kind of seen snippets of it while it's been like on the telly.
Now, I've had friends say to me, I might not like. Is it scary?
It's not. Well, no. I think it's not scary. It's a kind of dark. Well, it's Tim Burton, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you've seen, it's not. obviously it's not a...
Because it's quite a young rating, isn't it? It's not like
it's a young rating.
Yeah. So it's not going
it's
to be
not
like
your
mega
usual
scary.
Tim Burton, because obviously Johnny Depp's not in it, so it's not your usual Tim Burton.
No.
He's kind of left him out.
Yeah.
But if I put it on my social media just to say, has anyone watched it? And everyone seems to be
heavily
in on
into it.
So heavily into. So I've been heavily into that. Heavily into Jenna Ortega. I'm fine that she's 20.
Yeah.
So
you can continue to ogle.
Have you been heavily into anything?
Okay. I have been heavily into... Now, I know that when I say what I'm heavily into,
God.
you guys are going to go, what the fuck? Where have you been for the last 3 years, right? So I'm fully aware I'm very late to this heavily into, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm heavily into using my phone to pay for things.
Oh my God, where have you been? Fucking hell. Where are you going with that in 2000?
Right.
I've known it's a thing you can do for a while, right? But I've always been a bit like, I don't know, I've always thought, I don't know if I can trust that that's actually going to work.
Oh,
so I've
God,
just continued
you're one of
with
those. All right, Mum, bloody hell.
Hang on, though, I've got to admit something. I used my payment phone method for the second time last week.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Rossi.
I'm sorry,
Next week,
Ruth.
you two are going to come and say, I am heavily into cordless phones. I don't know if you've heard of them, but we've got this new landline and you can walk around the house with it. You don't have to stay attached to where the phone is. I was lying on my bed talking to my best friend. It's amazing.
I was in the garden making a call next to the rotary line. I can't fucking believe it.
You are like OAPs. Not there's anything wrong with OAPs.
Honestly,
but this has been a thing. Oh my God. You two are sounding like absolute pricks.
I know. I knew you were going to say that, and actually, I'm really pleased, Rossi, that you are also late.
I'm slightly embarrassed about myself.
Yeah,
you know what? I actually, because I've obviously gotten into it, and I'm like, okay, I know how this works now. I know what I've got to do. I've got to double click the side of my phone, hold the phone to the thing.
I love the double click.
Double click, right? I was with Nels the other day, and I was literally doing the payment with my phone, and I turned to her and went, this is amazing, isn't it?
Oh my!
And she went,
God.
Mum, this is not that big a deal. No. I'm like, it is a big deal to me, Nels. This is new. This is a new world that's opened up about using my phone to pay for things. So I have been heavily into this shit, and actually feeling like I wanted to tell the world I'm using my phone to pay for shit.
Oh my God! I'm going to start calling you Margs.
No, right. So it came about how I had to use mine, and I had Woody in one arm, and I realised my wallet was in my inside pocket of my jacket zipped up, so I couldn't get to it. I was in Savers, by the way. Savers is a shithole shop.
It is. Did you have a shower once you get out?
Well, I had a tetanus, and I stuck a suppository up my arse.
Yeah, good idea. That. So good idea.
Once I left Savers, so I was in there, and the guy was looking at me, and I was fannying around. I had my little boy in one arm. I thought, anyway, I got my phone out. I thought, hang on, I'm going to be a bit of James Bond here. Double clicked. It came up, and I thought, please work. Beeped it, and I felt like 007.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, you feel like a secret agent.
That's how I felt.
License to fucking pay. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And Ange, do you know that you can do Apple Pay on websites as well?
What?
I don't use Apple Pay.
Well, that is what you're using.
How do you do?
Oh,
that is what you're. If you've got an Apple phone and you don't, that's Apple Pay.
Oh,
so you can use that on websites as well. Now your card is saved in your wallet. If you go to a website and they've got
websites,
so they'll have a thing that says Apple Pay, and you click that, and then you double click the side of your phone, and it will do it through Apple Pay.
No.
Yes. Oh my God. So many websites now have the ability to pay by Apple Pay, and it will come up, and you can pick what card you want to use. Because I've got 2 or 3 cards in my Apple Pay wallet. And then you double click the side of your phone, and it will pay Apple. So you don't need to find your card and put all the details in. Yeah. Now you've got your card saved to your wallet. Oh my God, this is like being with 70-year-olds. You two are like, no. Oh my God, you can pay on a website just by double clicking the side of your phone.
This whole
just call me Maud.
It's a big thing. It's a big deal, Pat. You've got to realise that, okay, you're not that young, but you're still quite a bit younger than me. I don't know about Rossi.
Rossi's
no, you're
younger
the youngest.
Yeah, Rossi's the youngest. He's up there giving it all.
Am I?
No.
Sorry.
Yeah, you are. You're
Do
the
you know?
youngest,
Oh
Rossi.
God! But the
It doesn't matter about age. You two
I
are
d-
like, oh my God, it's like an awakening.
Oh, no,
It
it
is.
is an awakening.
Yeah, it is.
I got aroused when I used it. I got a slight semi on. But the thing is, I use PayPal on the internet. I've never heard of fucking Apple Pay on the internet.
Look,
I just use my
websites, so
PayPal.
like John Lewis, you can pay on Apple Pay. There's loads of websites now, and there'll be an Apple Pay button in your choices to pay. If you click that and then double click the side of your phone, it will just do it.
See,
I'm an Apple Pay virgin.
I never knew it was called Apple Pay.
What?
No,
Why would they call it Apple Pay? Oh, it's because it's
you're on your
connected
phone.
to your phone.
I thought Apple Pay was like another card that you'd have to have.
Oh
on your phone.
my God!
So I thought it was like a Tesco club card.
Yeah, like a club card.
God, what the fuck am I doing here? I'm getting out of this. I'm not even doing stuff. Fucking hell.
Something weird happened the other day. I'm off to Italy tomorrow with work. I don't.
Oh, get you.
Yeah, no, it's nothing special. It's just a fashion show. I'll be there for 3 days. Anyway, so it's
nothing special.
It's just a fashion show. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a fashion thing. They have it in. So we're going to Florence, and my dad's already gone. He's already out there. I'm going tomorrow. If he hasn't booked me a nice seat on the plane and given me, 20 kgs, he can fuck himself. But.
Yeah,
he gave me, right, and this is still on the subject of payment methods. Yeah. He said before he left, he handed me a €50 note, and I said, "What the fuck is that? I haven't seen a note. Do you use pound notes anymore or notes?"
No.
I said to Dad, "What's that?" And he said, "Just in case you get in trouble." I said, "What's 50 quid gonna do?"
Just in case you need bail money.
Yeah, it's like Home Alone.
Daddy knows you well, Rossi.
He does know me. I'm 39. What am I going to do with €50?
Yeah, that will not get you far, will it?
No.
That won't even get you a rent boy.
Oh, and that's what I wanted to spend it on.
Exactly.
It's such a shame.
They might take Apple Pay though. You might be alright.
Yeah. Bend over.
Do you take Apple Pay?
Double click.
No.
Bang, bang.
Yeah. No, but I take it up the arse.
Right, I've got heavily into.
What have you been heavily into, Pat?
This season, I've got heavily into reading again.
Did you just say this
season?
Who the fuck are you?
Are you a dog?
This festive season.
Okay.
This festive season, I have got heavily into reading again.
Right.
So
okay.
I have been big in the book game. Over the Christmas period, I've read 2 books.
Wow.
Jesus.
And they have both been by an author called Colleen Hoover.
Colleen Hoover.
Now, if you haven't read It Ends With Us and It Starts With Us, they are just brilliant books.
What is it about? I need to know a bit of a kind of
fiction,
like...
So she wrote... Colleen Hoover wrote It Ends With Us back in 2016.
Right.
And then it went TikTok viral a couple of years ago. So last year she did a sequel called It Starts With Us.
Right.
And it's basically about... So the way that she writes is it's really easy reading, but she tackles some really big topics within that. So she tackles single motherhood, she tackles abusive relationships, she tackles teenage love. It honestly, I devoured them.
Wow. Yeah.
They are so good. And I've started the 3rd book of hers this week called Ugly Love.
Okay, so is this sort of a reco?
This is a big time, heavily into a reco.
Reco, mate.
Giving us a reco.
She is seen as a young adult author, but she's not. She's I'm 40. I'm no way a young adult.
You're not. You're nearing our age.
No, I think you are a young adult.
Hoover has sold 20 million books as of October 22.
Oh. So when you say she went TikTok viral,
people were talking about It Ends With Us, this book.
Right. Okay.
Everyone was talking about it, and it so last year she released the sequel called It Begins With Us.
Okay.
But they're just so easy to read. She is just a brilliant author. And the way she writes, and this new book, Ugly Love, is a totally different writing style to the other 2 I've just read.
Okay.
But she is captivating. She is gripping.
Wow, Pats. I mean, you
honestly
could be part of Richard and Judy's book club with this.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like I want to start a book club. I do want to do that. I want to start a book club.
Oh,
is it? I think it's Sarah Cox, isn't it? Now who does that? Does she do a book club?
She does. One on
I read
DC
her book
too, I think.
I read her book on holiday last year. That was very good.
Yeah.
Do you do your reading in bed, or do you do it when you've got a spare? Yeah.
No, I tend to read when I get into bed.
Is...
Do you know why I did it? Because I was getting pissed off of always being on my phone.
Oh yeah, that's a very good
I was
point,
getting so annoyed with just aimlessly scrolling at night and really finding it difficult to put my phone down because it would lead me onto another video and another video and another video, and I went down
exactly
rabbit holes.
I do.
So I thought, that's it. I'm going to go to bed at 10. I'm going to put my phone down. I'm going to read for half an hour, 40 minutes, maybe an hour.
My problem, I can't. By the time I get to bed, I'll manage to read 2 pages.
Yeah, because you go to bed at 3 a.m, Ange.
No, I don't, Pats. That's quite an exaggeration there.
3?
No. I mean, I'm not nocturnal. But I can't, even if I went to bed at 10, right? I guarantee you I'd manage about 2 pages and I'd be gone. Wow. So then I'm like, it'll take me a year to read a book.
I wish I could get to sleep that quick. I'm tossing and turning. I cannot get to sleep.
We don't know about that, Faye.
No. The tossing, that I'm too old. I don't even know how to use Apple Pay. I'm not going to be tossing.
I'm not going to be tossing anything, no.
Don't want to get tossing. No, I just can't get to sleep. I am that person who does go down rabbit holes.
Yeah, I can't. I just was getting so pissed off with that.
The other night, right, I was in bed and I put my little Apple earphones in, right, headphones. Do you know the wireless ones? I'm doing them wireless now.
AirPods,
AirPods.
Your
AirPods. Anyway, I've got one of them and I've fallen asleep. Anyway, I've woken up startled and one's missing and I thought, I fucking swallowed it. I think I've swallowed it. So I've got up and I've dreamt I've swallowed it and I'm coughing and I've got my drink and I thought, I fucking swallowed my AirPod. And I'm looking for it in the bed. I've woken up Lucy. She's turned around and said, what the fuck are you doing? Honest to God, I did find it. It was right in the depths of the
in the crevice,
the 13.5 tog duvet. But I did think I'd swallowed the fucking thing.
That is hilarious.
So I'm trying not to wear them anymore in bed.
No, I mean that's dangerous, Ross. That.
Well, yeah, because I don't want to breathe in one of them.
No.
Yeah.
Well, Rossi, thanks for coming and telling us. Enjoy Italy. Have a fabulous time.
Yes.
I'll keep you updated. I'm going to do a few videos. You know me. I'm going to have a Florentine steak and I'm not going to wear my AirPods in bed.
No,
good
and
idea.
Then you can come on next week and tell us what Italian
all about your Italian trip.
Don't you bloody worry. I will. Don't you worry.
We'll be ready for that one.
Buongiorno Reggiano.
That's it. Buongiorno Reggiano. Amazing. Well, thanks, Rossi. We'll see you next week.
Been great.
Rossi.
Take care. Love you lots.
Bye.
Bye.
Right, now I've got an urban.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Well, I've actually got 2 urbans here.
Oh, right, okay.
And I'm not sure which one to go for.
She's tricky.
I'm trickying this up, aren't I?
She's tricky.
Okay, I'm going to go with this one.
Okay,
right?
okay. She's got it, guys.
Ingredient house.
Ingredient house.
There were a lot of new ones actually on the urban when I looked. There? Yeah, it's quite nice. I had a nice
okay, so
through.
Ingredient house.
House.
Some kind of drug den.
No, it's not a drug den. No.
Oh.
Not anything dodgy.
Okay. A place that you keep your spices.
No, but that would actually be a good name for it.
Yeah, that would, wouldn't it?
No, it's
They're
not
in
that.
the ingredient house. That turmeric is in the ingredient
house.
I don't know. You're going to have to tell me, Pat.
Okay, ingredient house. Noun. A home that has no ready-to-eat foods or snacks, only the ingredients to make food. I'm going over to Jenna's house. I better eat something beforehand because she lives in an ingredient house.
Oh my God, that is... Have you ever been to an ingredient house?
I think I have.
I think Mum and Dad's is an ingredient house. That is mum and dad's.
That is mum. That
they
is
have
your mum.
fuck all snacks there.
Yeah, I know. It's shit, isn't it?
It's so shit.
Yeah.
And you know what? That is Mal more than Margs.
Definitely.
Because Margs loves a snack.
Oh, Margs. She would snack all day if you let her. Do you want a Kit Kat, Margs? Yeah, I'll have a Kit Kat.
Well, their house is an ingredient house.
It's an ingredient
house.
I
popped in there on Saturday because I had to go to Boots near where they live to pick something up. So I popped in there, Saturday morning. I'd had like a banana and a yogurt, and I was like, oh, I wonder. I opened their cupboards.
Nothing.
I was like, do you guys not have like, I don't know, even like a cereal bar or no? Mum was like, there's a couple of bananas which were like disgusting.
Black.
Oh my god, like. I was like, no, Mum.
Like, you'll open them and they'll just disintegrate.
You have to, like, shove them in quick, otherwise they'll end up all over your hands. I was like, no, I don't want one of those. She was like, they're fine. They'll be fine. I said, oh, I don't like them like that. Oh, they're lovely like that. They're lovely.
Oh, I know.
So I opened the fridge, and they had, like, a tiny little block of cheese. I was like, oh, all right. And then, like, a couple of bottles of sparkling water.
A
few eggs, jar of marmalade, jar of jam.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was like, what are you looking for? I was like, I don't know, Mum. Just like some
sort of snack. Yeah.
She was like, oh no, you won't find that round here. Yeah, no,
they are definitely ingredient
You're
house.
an ingredient house.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's definitely a few people that I would put in that category.
Our house isn't an ingredient house.
No, neither is ours, but ours does struggle on drinks.
Oh, your house is shit for drinks. You never think of guests when you for drinks.
I do, but only really alcoholic ones.
You come to me, I get apple juice for Ellen, I get Dr. Pepper for Joel, I make sure I've got some beers in that Joel will drink. I think, what's he going to drink? I'll get some full fat Cokes. I think, Mum and Dad, I'll get some Prosecco. I come to your house. Have you got any soft drinks?
Do you know,
there's water.
When I saw the ingredient house, I thought, right, Pat straight away is going to be like, that's you for drinks.
Your house is shit for drinks. So I put a box up about the Harry interview.
Yes, you did.
And it was a very, very mixed response.
Mixed bag.
Yeah. Lots of people are saying that it was like, it felt quite cryptic. Lots of people saying they couldn't really get to grips with what he was trying to say. Some people saying it was sad and that they felt for him. Somebody put, he's got himself in a muddle and doesn't know how to get out of it. He made mistakes and he wants back in.
I don't know. I just feel for the whole situation.
Yeah.
For him, for William, for Charles, for the whole, because it has just become this thing now that's just such a public falling out of a family. And that's just, you and this happens like so often in families, doesn't it? And you think this is just on a whole other level.
God.
And I did find some of the things he was saying, I did find them a bit confusing and a bit odd at times.
It was really contradictory. I think for me it was like, the thing that I felt really sad about was he kept saying how much he loves his brother and his dad, which, I don't doubt. I don't doubt that he doesn't have deep love and admiration for his family. But how does he feel now that they could reconcile anything? Because it was, the confusing thing for me is I hate the British press. I hate what they've done to our family. And I get that. Like when he talked about driving through that tunnel at speed and the tunnel being so short, and he'd lived his life thinking this tunnel was this like horrible place where awful things happen, and actually in that moment he realised that probably it was flashes of cameras that meant the driver couldn't see. We don't know that for definite, but for him, he was sort of explaining how he had felt that in his own life. Now he can drive, and those camera flashes and how big they are, and when he went back to that tunnel, it was sort of an awakening for him of like, this tunnel isn't this big bad thing.
No,
how did somebody lose control of the car in this tunnel? But I think I just think, how are you going to reconcile anything now? Because nobody in your family will be able to trust that it will be private.
No.
Because...
and I think as well, the fact that he kept saying how he wanted to find a way to be able to reconcile it, and he wanted that to be a private thing.
Yeah.
But then I'm kind of like, but hang on a minute. You've just made this such a public thing. Like, why would, and you know, you always sort of try and put yourself in his shoes, and that's obviously very difficult because we have no idea what it's like to grow up in that sort of institution. We have no idea, you know, even if you look at it from a very basic, I don't have any idea what it's like to lose a parent at that age.
No, and then be publicly
exactly
like,
having to kind of just carry on as normal to a certain extent. You know,
I mean, more than carry on as normal. Like, I found it so weird when he was, you know, when you watch him, not even at her funeral, but the days after she died, he was like 11, right? Or William was 15, so he was 13 at the time. And he's having to go out and shake people's hands. And when he said, I couldn't understand why people's hands were wet, and it was because of the tears, and there he is having to smile and hold it together because that's what the public demand of him. I mean, that is so damaging.
Totally. And that's what, you know, it's like, it's so easy to look at it and look at this unfold from a media perspective on the TV, in the news, you know, in his book, all of those things, and kind of have your opinion on it when we don't really have a clue what it's been like for him or any of them. But for me, it is just this thing of something that is so very personal that should be dealt with in a very private way has now become a very public issue. And then you're just opening the door to people's opinion, what people think about you, your family, how you've behaved, how they've behaved. And that's the sad thing for me, is I just sort of think it didn't have to be this way. It, you know, and
but also it's I find the whole thing of like, I hate the British press. The last time I checked, ITV are part of that British press, mate. Like,
I know.
You know, I'm writing a book. Like, I hate what the media have done to my family, but I'm going to give you complete access to my story. It's like, stop giving them any ounce of your story or your time or your truth. Like, if you hate them, leave them alone and go away and live your life. Like, and I think, you know, that fight that he is saying happened, you know, nobody will ever know. That's his side of what happened. Nobody will ever know. But that fight, it's like, God, if there's two people in the world that know how to push my buttons the most, it's you and James.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We have a complete in as siblings into winding each other up 0 to 60 and back again.
Yeah.
In the space of no time whatsoever. If anybody who thinks that because they are the royal family or the institution, that is not different. Part of it.
Yeah.
God, I could wind you and James up 0 to 60, no problem.
Yeah, exactly.
And I just think there are some things within families that are just
remain.
that. They're just incidences in time that happen. And I'm just left thinking, like, somebody else put in the box where I asked for people's thoughts. Somebody said he's so hurt, and he hates the fact that he's the spare and not the heir. And that was something that I was really like, I hadn't thought of it from that, because the fact that he called his book Spare, like, has this been a lifetime of him feeling horribly in William's shadow, which I can't imagine what that feels like.
No.
You know, your brother is going to be king in your lifetime, likelihood. Like, the likelihood is.
I think as well, it is just that, you know, I think you always get that sort of competition in siblings, especially when it's like 2 boys or 2 girls.
Yeah.
I think that very easily happens.
And they're close in age, aren't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, I can totally see how that competition has been there from a very young age, a very early age. They're both boys. They're both probably into very similar things, but their relationship and the way they are treated and going to be treated in the future is going to be very different.
Yeah.
And that must be very hard,
of course,
to get your head around. And that's not to take away from the fact that will also be hard on William,
of course,
because there's a lot that comes with that I'm sure at times he probably wishes he wasn't he didn't have that. I mean,
exactly.
So I think it's just really sad that it has come to this for all of them. And I really just hope that they are able to find a way back,
I don't know
which
now.
I think is going to be hard, and I think it's going to be something that if they do, it's going to take a very long time for that to happen. But yeah, I just find it really sad. Any families that find themselves in these situations where there's like this huge rift,
it's awful, isn't it?
Yeah, you just don't know how you ever come back from that. But I really hope they do for them all. I hope they find a way to reconcile.
And somebody in the box just put wanker. So there we go.
Wow. Okay. Fine. Okay. I was trying to leave it on a light note, Pats, but there you go. You brought that straight back down.
Wanker.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah. Not my words.
No. Exactly.
The words of somebody on Instagram.
Yes.
Well, anyway, that's it. First episode.
There we go.
2023 done.
Bosh.
We hope you've loved this episode.
Yeah, I had so many people saying, "Oh, I'm so pleased you're back. I can't wait for you to be back. When are you recording?" So here we are, gang.
Here we are,
back.
guys.
We're back.
Thank you, obviously, for all of your support last year.
Yes.
Thank you for continuing to listen. We're so grateful.
We are.
Obviously, there's loads of ways you can find all of us. If you don't follow Rossi on Instagram or TikTok, which I'm sure you do, but if you don't,
I'm sure you do.
You can find him across both of those platforms. He's just at Rossi D Woods. I'm at Ruth Gordon. Ange is at Ange Gordon.
You can find the podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Just search Finding the Funny Podcast.
You can also send us an email, which is findingthefunnypodcast@gmail.com. The podcast in that email address is really important because there's a guy in Arizona who has got an email address called Finding the Funny.
Yeah.
So definitely make sure you put the podcast in. So it's findingthefunnypodcast@gmail.com. But that's episode 1 in the bag.
Done.
Under our belts. It's so good to be back, guys. And Ange and I
is.
will be back next week helping you to find more of the funny.
Do